Okay, I think we should get started. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatamidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamagyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapatakabalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajhatam Sagan Raghunatham ताम सजीवम साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सागन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. We are continuing with nectar of instruction. We understand from the last session when we started, we understand what is the importance of what is the foundation of the spiritual etiquette given by Srila Rupa Goswami, and the most important instruction that as uh, followers of Rupa Goswami, as followers of Srila Prabhupada, what is the most important thing that we are supposed to do. So all combined and then condensed in the form of 11 important slokas. So that is why it is called as Upadesa Amritam. Okay, so it is kind of a nectar in terms of the instruction that is very important. So it is all given through the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. That is what we saw. And Prabhupada in the preface importantly highlights very important aspect of advancement of Krishna consciousness depends upon the attitude of the person. If the person's attitude is more of humbleness, ready to tolerate, ready to forgive, ready to accept mistakes, ready to get going with whatever difficulties, all those aspects fall under the attitude of person. Understand what is to be given out, what is to be holding, the principles, and then exchanges. So then that will be helpful for that particular person or a devotee to grow in his devotion service. So that is the understanding, and how the gradual process from a path or from a way it moves from one particular stage to another stage, from Kanishta to Madhyama to Uttama. That also we saw, right? So the certain do's and don'ts are the most important aspect. Okay. Then he talks about various aspects of other analogies and other things also that we saw. Okay. So most importantly, we follow the Guru Parampara. It is one way related to the nine important steps of the bhakti process that we Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana, Kriya, Anattaniviti. So the same thing is how it is mapped to this 11 slokas is also explained. We saw this also. Okay. So the first sloka we started, we understood the Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jigva Vegam, Mudra Prashta Vegam. So this important aspect of controlling the senses. Even in Bhagavad Gita also a person, a dhira, a sthita dhir muni richyate. Sthita dhir person will have to control all the urges of the body, right? All that are which is in the straight line. That is what we are understanding and continuing. Just that is what we saw most from the Jigva Vedam, Mudra Prashta Vegam, Krodha Vegam. Importance of controlling the anger is also very important. Upasitam, all the Upasitam Vegas, everything. And Prabhupada gives a lot of specific analogies also in terms of when you control the tongue, which means controlling your voice, means like, how toad during the winter time, they just, frog, they just start croaking, and then they're actually inviting snakes as enemies, right? So that is the thing. And other than that, we saw all the other um, Vegams also. So we'll continue with this also. I think Priti Mataji should continue. Then we will get into the second slokas portion that we saw about what is to be taken and what is to be left out. In the first sloka, some important stories about how Ambarish Maharaj example is given, where he was able to control all his senses and focus his mind, intelligence, his bodily urges, everything towards Krishna Seva. Okay, that part also we saw. Okay. Yeah, in the second sloka, the six enemies, Atyahara, Prayascha, Prajalpa, Niyamagraha, Janasangasya Laulyamcha, Shadbir, Bhaktir, Vinashyati. Vinashyati means that will destroy. These are enemies, or these are the killers of bhakti. Okay, overeating and over acquiring. Okay, I want everything. I want everything. So that is more of that one. Prajalpa is more of just gossiping and talking about all mundane activities. Okay, very very important. Niyama agraha, niyamagraha, two different things that also we saw. Okay, most importantly, jana sangam and laulyam. Laulyam is also very very dangerous. Okay, greed that you should be completely avoiding. Okay, yeah. So atyahara, prayascha, prajalpa, niyam agraha. Janasangam also very important. Lavulya. Okay. This is what we saw. And this, let us continue in this. I think the last two Preeti Mataji should finish it off. And then we'll get into the two main important analogies. One is the Mrigari story where we can understand how Narada Rishi, you all know the story, how Narada Rishi transformed a very cruel person into a wonderful devotee, right? So that is one aspect. And also Prabhupada gives a wonderful example of a leaky bucket. How much ever we try to collect water in a leaky bucket, if the bucket is kind of leaking, there is no progress into it, right? So we need to ensure all the loopholes are closed so that they call it as watertight, which means we are able to ring fence our bhakti so that our bhakti lata bijam will nicely grow. So simplicity is main thing. Simple living and high thinking is what Prabhupada also emphasizes. Our discipline should be balanced. Our environment. Our environment here means our bhakti environment should have to be protected. Okay, we have to be very, very careful. Where do we eat? Where do we take prasadam? How do we ensure we don't get into talking in along with when you go for public places, when you go for relatives, when you go for public crowd, when you go for let's say you go to a wedding, how do you start interacting? All those things also will affect a particular person. Okay. Let us finish off this second sloka understanding. Then we will get into the third sloka, which is the opposite, which will grow. You have to do these things. Second sloka is all about don't do. First, third sloka is about if you do this, then it will grow. Which is utsaha nisya dhairya taddat karma pravartana. Sangat tyaga chato vritte shadbhair bhakti prasiddhyati. Prasiddhyati means that will grow. Okay, this six things. Okay, let us stop in this section. Then we'll get Preeti Mataji to continue and then get Rajiv Prabhu and others to share the other sloka. Okay, yeah. Mataji, I think you need to continue, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Um, Prabhuji, can I again read the first shloka? Like, yes. वाचो वेगं मनसः क्रोधवेगं जिह्वा वेगमुदरोपस्थः वेगम् एतन् वेगं यो विषहेता धीरः सर्वम् अपि मां पृथिवीं स शिष्यात् अत अत्याहारप्रयाश्च प्रजल्पो नियमग्रहः ज्ञानसंगाश्च लौल्यं च सद्भिर्भक्ति विनश्यति. So we had got me, Nidya Mataji and Lakshmi Mataji got the second shloka, from which I will be saying the fifth and sixth part of this shloka. That was the associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And number six, that being greedy for Monday achievements. So here, like it has been told that Jnana Sangha refers to associating with persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, but they are interested in basically politics, newspapers, and Monday, like gossiping, prajalpa kind of things. So basically, a devotee who is like sincerely, who is very well known, that who have realized that I have to stay away from materialistic peoples and avoid materialistic things, should avoid those kind of people, because when we get into spirituality we cannot accept duality within ourselves. Either we should be into materialistic life or spiritual life. So that here also, Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura has therefore advised us to live only in the association of Krishna conscious people, that is Bhakta Sangha. One should always engage in the service of the Lord in the association of the devotee, because like Srila Prabhupadaji quotes that if we live with drunk yards, we will like start doing drinking, normalizing it, and like getting into those association. So association with those engaged in a similar line of business is very conductive to advancement in that business. So basically, in this part, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also writes in his Anuvritti commentary that too much endeavor to acquire knowledge on this part of mental speculator or dry philosopher fall within the category of Atyahara, collecting more than needed. So basically, we should not forget our mission in ISKCON. Like when we get into ISKCON, we start associating with some, we do not know how to differentiate between just random visitor in ISKCON and basically the pure devotees. So basically, we should know exactly what ISKCON stands for. That it stands for its books, Srila Prabhupada, its pure devotee, and Krishna. So inside the temple also, we should not like get into very worldly kind of people who come there to like discuss about mundane topics. And then the sixth part was about like getting into endeavoring for more mundane achievements. So here it has been said that karmis labor to accumulate more and more money for future generations only, because they do not know their future position. So like in Bhagavad Gita, we know that there is karma yoga, jnana yoga, uh, Shtanga yoga, and bhakti yoga. So if we cannot like become 24 into 7 devotee inside, we have brahmacharis in our temple, but being into karma yoga, we can execute the same bhakti yoga by like making our mental and spiritual habits so strong that whatever we do it for Krishna. And basically, we should only like get the money and do the hard work just to attain the like desired amount to like continue with our life, to take care of our family, not to like being greedy for mundane achievement, power, position, glories of our name. So basically, here we get some examples that unless the karmis and gyanis become interested in Krishna consciousness, they will simply continue to waste their life in fruitless activities. So the big achievements which for which we endeavor, we do very wrong with others, has been called very useless here. And it has been written that accepting some of the scripture rules and regulation for immediate benefit as utilitarian advocate is called niyama agraha, and neglecting the rules and regulations of the shastras which are meant for spiritual development is called niyama agraha. The word agraha means eagerness to accept, and agraha means agraha. There are different kind of agraha. Prabhuji, I have not understand this. Like we have line up of A. So the first agraha means eagerness to accept, and agraha means failure to accept. And by the addition of either of these two words to the word niyama, rules and regulations.
Okay, you
So
finished
basically,
now?
one should avoid the association of Mayavadis who
Yeah.
simply blaspheme the devotees. Also, um, like it has been given explanation, modern warfare waged between capitalist and communist is due to their avoiding the advice of Srila Rupa Goswami regarding Atyahara. Modern capitalists accumulate more wealth than necessary, and the communists, envious of their prosperity, want to nationalize all wealth and prosperity. So, Srila Prabhupada had said that Krishna is very capable of providing everyone with adequate amount of resources to continue with their life, but we have seen that the rich are getting rich and the poor are getting poor. So, because of this capitalist and communists thing happening, so for example, like Iran and Israel, we are seeing that people are becoming homeless and like poor, but in other countries we are seeing that okay, they are living a very rich life. And not helping any one of them. So basically, when human society gives up these elementary faults enumerated by Srila Rupa Goswami, all enmity will cease between men and animals, capitalists and communists, and so forth. In addition, all problems of economics or political maladjustment and instability will be solved. This consciousness is pure and is awakened by the proper spiritual education and practice offered scientifically by the Krishna consciousness movement. So, the Krishna consciousness movement offers a spiritual community from which we can bring a peaceful condition into the society. Thank you, Prabhuji. I beg your pardon for mistakes.
Hare Krishna.
Also, Prabhuji, I have a confusion
Yeah.
about Atyahara.
Yeah, I'll come to Niyamagraha. Yeah. Nidya Mataji, you have a clarification?
Yes, I have a question. Uh, Krishna said that we should avoid the association with non-devotees, and at the same time, Krishna says that we should never forget that Krishna exists also in the non-devotees. So, how can we find the right way how to handle with them without making any offenses
So,
in common?
yeah, so in Nectar of Devotion, you might have heard about three different categories, right? Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama, right? So let's say um, if you are associating with new devotees and then in the new public people, all that we have to do is we have to be very careful in association of not taking anything but more of giving, like being very compassionate to them, giving Prabhupada's mercy, giving out Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, giving out Krishna's mercy through books, through preaching, through prasadam and other things, so that we don't take their sangha, but we give our sangha to them, so that it um, becomes becomes more merciful to them. Okay, that is the first level. So that we say, "How are you?" But we will talk with them. We will talk nicely and get to their understanding of their difficulties, everything. But we will give some association through prasadam or whatever be, so that we don't take their. So we listen to them, but we attentively listen. We take it and then try to help them out. That's all. But we don't get it to our heart. So that is the first point. So it becomes so any public preaching or going out in book distribution and talking, we have to talk to them, understand what is it, so that we are just good listeners to them. But we have to be very careful that we don't get into their way of living. First point. Second is at the level where we are growing and others are also growing among peer, like Madhyama level, where we are always together, where we try to talk with them in the Sunday feast program, Sunday temple programs here and there. We exchange, right? That exchange will come in the fifth sloka, Dadadi Puti Vignadi, Gugyam Magyati. So we exchange love and affection, we exchange ideas, we exchange knowledge, we exchange, and that also we have to be a little more careful. We have to see how it is beneficial to us. For example, some of them will come and keep pouring their heart, all kind of prajalpa. That also we have to be very careful. So exchange is only for that is growth. So that among the Madhya level we have it. But at the Uttama level, at the next higher level, we have to take association from them, which means we are very submissive to them, humble to them, and then we try to serve them. All three has got the serving quotient, but we serve at the Kanishta level, we give more to see that they are growing. At the Madhyama level, we are equal. At the Uttama level, we serve them more, so that we are trying to get their respect, I mean their mercy and association. So that is where we need to see the difference between Kanishta, Madhyama, and so Kanishta may be a neophyte or somebody. Prabhupada always says everybody are at some point of the time or neophytes only. There is no question about those seniors and this one. Okay, so in that way we need to differentiate. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. Yeah. Mataji, coming to Niyamagraha is very important. That point I'll try to touch upon that point, very important. There are two types what Prabhupada is mentioning. Niyama Agraha, Niyamagraha. Okay. First is about Niyama Agraha. Niyama Agraha means they are just not following actually the correct principles. Failure to accept, which means Agra means without that hyphen, first thing. Because I know if I do this, it is beneficial, but I will not accept. Okay, morning waking up at 4 a.m. is good, but I will not do it. Okay, but Niyama Agraha is somebody coming and saying, it's okay, There are some loopholes in the law that if you do it at 6:30, 7 o'clock also it's okay. Midnight also it's okay. So sometimes some kind of diversion, some kind of um, diluting the process. That is called as Nema Agraha, which means like no, you are ready to accept that. Oh, if somebody, Prabhupada or your Guru Maharaj, it's okay. You are not able to do 16 rounds. It's okay. Try to do it next month, next week. But then you will feel so happy. Oh, wow, my Guru Maharaj himself has told, which is actually Niyamagraha. Nobody will tell that. But you are so eager to get that somebody will say, oh, you have taken this prasadam on Ekadasi day. Oh, you did a mistake. That's okay. We will try. So that eagerness will be always there to accept some dilutions here and there. That is called as Niyama Agraha. So we have to be very careful in that. Niyama Agraha means like somebody coming and saying, this is the alternative of this, do this, that is okay. This is the alternative of this, do this, which means you will be very happy to do that. Okay, clear? Okay. Then,
Yes, Prabhu, thank
yeah.
you.
Then what was the other point, other question you had, clarification?
This was the same, Prabhuji. Thank you. I'm all
Okay.
clear.
Okay. That is why it has got a twofold meaning. That understood according to the particular combination of the words. Okay. See, if you are interested in Krishna consciousness, we should not eager to accept everything that it is for economic development, which means somebody will say, oh, you do this activity, you will get this benefit. That whatever in terms of your economic development, right? For example, somebody will say, "Oh, do this particular havan, you'll be this happen. You do this, you'll get money. You do this, they get money." Something like that, more from a material perspective. Then you will immediately do it, right? That is also incorrect. Good. So
Okay,
this.
Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you. So this model, Mataji, thank you, Mataji. I think you covered most of the important aspects of warfare, about understanding the capitalist, about other aspects also, and then the other aspects also. Fine. Okay, good. So we have covered second sloka, right? Anybody else left out? Okay, let's go to the third sloka. Clear about second sloka?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, let us go to third sloka. I think Rajiv Prabhu and myself we read it, and there were others couldn't join. Yeah, Rajiv Prabhu, you want to highlight some of the main points, Prabhu? Then I will also add to the points.
Yes, I'll do all the 6. I'll try. So
Fine.
I'll read the sloka again, and then I'll do. उत्साहन निश्चय धैर्य तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागत सतो वृत्ति सद्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति. So in this verse, my understanding is for first utsaha means enthusiasm. Like bhakti should not be done by lazily or mechanically. It should be enthusiasm, means serving Krishna with energy, eagerness, and happiness. Even when difficulties come to devotees, they continue to try to chant, hear, and serve sincerely. So my understanding is that the enthusiasm is like the fuel of devotional life. When enthusiasm becomes weak, spiritual practice slowly becomes dry. So a devotee should remember the mercy of Krishna, and the devotee should stay inspired. Example like chanting attentively, being eager to hear Harikatha, and taking initiative in services. The second is Nishchaya. It's confidence and faith. So a devotee must have firm faith that by sincerely practicing bhakti, Krishna will surely protect and help them. So this confidence is not like material pride. It is trusted in by holy name, by the process of bhakti, by shastras, and by the blessings of Guru. My understanding is that many obstacle comes in spiritual life, but confidence keeps a devotee steady. Even in progress seems slow, one should not think bhakti is useless. For example, continue chanting despite struggles in life, believing Krishna's see sincere effort, trusting devotional service never goes in vain. So always we need to try serving in those conditions. Third one is dharya, the patient. So spiritual advancement does not happen instantly. just as a seed takes time to become a tree, bhakti develops gradually. A devotee should avoid impatience or frustration. My understanding here is that the impatience can destroy determination. Like sometimes devotee expect immediate realization, but purification take times. Krishna may take sincerity through delays and difficulties. In this example, we have to continue sadhana daily. We have to practice daily sadhana bhakti, not quitting after failures, remaining peaceful during these difficult phases, and trusting the process. Fourth is the tat tat karma pravartana, like performing activities favorable for bhakti. This means regular engaging in devotional activities authorized in Shastra, especially like hearing about Krishna, chanting the holy name, remembering Krishna, worshipping Krishna, and then doing association of devotees and doing services. My understanding is that bhakti grows through practical engagement, not only thoughts or emotions. If devotional activity stops, spiritual strength also becomes weak. Like examples, daily japa, reading scriptures, attending kirtan, hearing to lectures, or serving Vaishnavas. So these are the things important. Next one is Sangha Tyaga, giving a bad association. Associations strongly influence consciousness. So non-devotee associations here especially means that they pull away from Krishna. They encourages materialism, increase our lust, anger, greed, or doubt. And by that, in the spiritual life becomes difficult when we constantly observe materialistic influence. Therefore, protecting association is very important. This does not mean like hating others. It means by being careful about whose mentality we observe deeply. So here, by doing this, we avoid negativity influence, limiting spiritual harmful, and choosing uplifting association. We have to do. Then Sato Vrata, following like the previous acharyas, a devotee should follow the path shown by genuine saints and acharyas rather than inventing a personal process. So in this, the humility is essential in bhakti. Real advancement comes by following teachings and behavior of realized devotees, like how to chant, how to serve, how to live spiritually, and how to face obstacle. Following this, devotion purifies and protect from pride or speculation. Examples like studying teachings of acharyas, following gurus and sastras, and practicing devotional standards sincerely. So this was teaches like to become the successful bhakti is not like accidental. It develops through the proper attitude, proper association we need, and proper practice and steady determination. Like enthusiasm gives energy, confidence gives strength, patience gives stability, devotional practice give us nourishment, good associations gives protection, and following acharyas gives us the correct direction. So ultimately, this verse teaches balanced devotional life, enthusiastic but patience, confidence, being humble, active, and guided by our gurus and shastras. Yeah, Prabhu.
Good. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay. Covered most of the important points. Prabhupada writes very beautifully that this bhakti is like kind of a cultivation. Like it depends upon how carefully we cultivate our bhakti. Like if you know how agriculture farmers, if you go and ask them, they are very specific in the particular period, particular time. And then the yield out of it, right? So whenever it rains, they try to utilize the rainwater. Whenever it is to be requested to be protected, they remove all the growing weeds, ensure it is completely protected, right? So that cultivation is a very important aspect, which requires a lot of this important aspect of enthusiasm. Then more in terms of understanding the dhairyam. Dhairyam is very important. That is also help somebody to grow, right? So one is enthusiasm. Without enthusiasm, Prabhupada, one cannot be successful. Very important point. I think you covered all the important points. This one, and then Prabhupada is talking about utsaha in terms of one word called utsaha means enthusiasm. Other way is enthusiasm executed with intelligence. Very wonderful word. Prabhupada principle execution of endeavor with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so we have to put our effort, but effort cannot be just like that going in waste, but it should be used with intelligence in alignment with Krishna. Okay, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha Yukta Vairagyam. Okay, this is what we would have seen in Yukta Vairagyam in Nectar of Devotion, right? So that point is also very nicely covered. Okay, I think mostly it is Tadat Karma Paravartana is also very importantly covered. Okay. Okay, I wanted to show you something then before we get into um, this one. Okay. Yeah, so in the previous sloka, you're able to see the screen.
Yes, Prabhu.
So this most of you would have seen earlier in your during your earlier times, right? What is the food of one particular family for 1 week in Germany is around $500 or sorry, €500 or something like that, which is like kind of so much of drinks, so much of food, vegetables, bread, other drinks just for one family for 1 week. Okay. This is in Germany. And then, I don't know this is true or not, but the Nidya Mataji, who can connect, they just put it for a particular purpose, but let's not get into too much of how and all. But just for an understanding, the same applies to US also. North Carolina, it is around 300. This was more of a survey done by United Nations and UNESCO and other things just to see how much of wastage is there, one aspect, how much of people's capacity, and then this is for US, North Carolina, this is in Italy. Okay, this is a very long in 80s. Okay, it's not now. Okay, some 25 years ago. If you see the TV itself, you'll understand how old it is. So it's something around 25 to 30 years ago. Okay, not recently, but this become a very important aspect from the overall world understanding. Right, this is from Mexico, South America region. Okay, you see there are more of vegetables, less of bread, more of drinks also. And this is from Poland, Europe, $151. This is $189. This is 159, $150. This is from Poland, and this is from Egypt. Okay, around $68. And then this is more. This is from Ecuador. Okay, a typical farming community. You'll see the bananas, and you will see the more of other varieties. And this is Bhutan, $5 per week. And finally, they end up with this one, which is also where they are not very impoverished, but at the same time, they are okay, right? But their actual capacity versus their this one, if you see, is just $1. Okay, so their expenses is just some rice and then some wheat, some few vegetables and water, some oil or water. That's it. Some water, you can see water, how they store water also. Every photo can be analyzed very detailedly. Even water also, they have a lot of scarcity, but still they are serving. Prabhupada always say, when you trying to satisfy everybody, it may not be possible, but Krishna knows where, how to give what is to be fed to them, right? So accordingly, this can be understood. Okay. And and today's the sloka that what Rajiv Prabhu mentioned is also very important about this. You would have heard of this book. Have you heard of this book called Salted Bread? Anybody? My suggestion, if you try to get a chance, please read this book. Wonderful book about two wonderful devotees who dedicated their lives in Russia. Okay, they'll be in jail during the during that KMG period where there was like a lot of ban and then a lot of illegal things, whatever that was communist period. It was so much of pressure during 1980s, and how two wonderful Russian devotees survived with their Krishna conscious way. So this whatever you see here, right? The beads is made out of bread. So they were put in jail for many years, and they could not eat anything. So they will just take little salt and 2, 3 slices of bread, and they serve it for more than 2 years. And to do their chanting, they will take that bread, soak it in water, make some little kind of beads, and then do their chanting. Okay, so irrespective of the worst situation in life, whatever can imagine, the devotees demonstrated that you will be able to do bhakti. Okay, so this book is available. If you get a chance, please read this book. It gives a lot of inspiration about this sloka that whatever Rajiv Prabhu mentioned about Utsaha Dhairya, very determined, and they were not sure whether they will be released. They were not sure whether life will come after them or they'll be completely imprisoned for the whole life, life imprisonment. But still, they had only one hope that Krishna will protect them and Krishna will save them. Right. So it's a wonderful book. I mean, if you get a chance, please read that book. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, during the communal period. Yeah, this is just some headings, but if you get a chance, you have to read the book. Okay. So it talks about this jail where they were there. And then the books, somehow they'll steal the books. My Guru Maharaj used to say initially they will not allow the book, publish the books and all, or carry the books, right? So he will go to one particular place where they'll do a cyclostyling, which means Xerox. Cyclostyling means you have to put a paper, you have to keep rotating. So Bhagavad Gita, they used to go and sit and then start cyclostyling in the midnight, go under the basement, they will do uh, copying of the books. Then they'll pin it out and then they will carry it for distribution. It's not like no, for us now, it is all ready-made available. To open a box, you will have the books, just take it and then go. For that itself, now we are finding it difficult to do. But those days, they don't even have printed books. They will have to do a cyclostyling, which is not even Xerox. Cyclostyling means you have to put the paper, then they will do a stamping or they'll get a print out of it. Not a print, it'll copy, it'll make a copy. Like every page they have to do, then collect that and then make a bundle, make one book. Like that, they will keep on doing multiple books and then some devotees will do that under the basement, and some devotees will go in normal dress, karmi dress. They will go and do this book distribution. Okay, yeah, yeah. See, you see here, you see this is Gopal. His school is Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj. He's doing this cyclostyling. He just have to do that. Okay, then they will do the printout, and then they will go and do this one. Okay, so read through this. It will give you a lot of enthusiasm, lot of utsaha, dhairya. Okay. Okay. Fine. I used to take only a piece of bread and one spoon of sugar in the morning. The bread was very substantial. It was black and wet. Okay. So I learned how to make the jaba beads out of bread. Just imagine. Okay. After a while, everyone in the jail knew about Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. Right? So whatever we do, it will be demonstrated outside automatically by Krishna. All that we have to do is just follow whatever Krishna has told us, whatever our acharyas have told us. You will see a wonderful difference. Initially, you will have restrictions, you will have difficulties, problems, but still, if you still continue, then definitely it will. Okay. He became. In fact, he was gone into taken to psychiatric hospital. So somebody tell he is becoming psychiatric, mentally problem, all those things. Okay. Yeah. And finally, they got rest. Okay, let us continue. Okay. How many of you read that book? Anybody? No. No, right? You should definitely, like, for example, there are some specific, apart from Prabhupada's book, there are some wonderful books like Journey Home by Ranadhan Maharaj. There are wonderful other books, Chasing the Rhinos. There are some highly, empowered books which you just reading one time, you will see so much of history of ISKCON in the last 50 years. After Prabhupada left between 1980 to 1975 or 1977 to 2027, the coming year, like 50, 60 years, you will see so much of wonderful changes happen through Prabhupada's disciples. Okay. So, okay, let us continue. Let's read the fourth sloka. Yeah. Anybody want to read? Prabhuji's, anybody?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
I
Mataji.
can- the-
Or you can read, Rajiv. It's okay.
I think Mataji.
ददाति प्रतिगणाति गुम्यम् अक्षति पृच्छति भू भू
Bhungte.
Bhungte. Bhungte bhojyate chaiva sadvidham priti lakshanam. Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidently, accepting prasada and offering prasada are the six symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in association of other devotees. There are six kinds of activities: giving charity to the devotees, accepting from devotees whatever they may offer in return, opening one's mind to the devotees, inquiring from them about the confident confidential service of the Lord, honoring prasada or spiritual food given by the devotees, and feeding the devotees with prasada. An experienced devotee explains, and inexperienced devotee learns from him. This is Gomyam Akhyati Prachati. When a devotee distributes prasada, remnants of food offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to maintain our spirit of devotional service, we must accept this prasada as the Lord grace received through the pure devotees. We should also invite pure devotees to our home, offer them prasada, and be prepared to please them in all respects. This is called bhu bhunte bhojate chaiva.
Thank you, Prabhu. Again.
Bhunte bhojate chaiva.
So this is the main six important things that will help in devotion service in association of devotees. So the previous sloka is about that is required to grow. This is within the devotion service. If we start associating with the devotees, so how do we associate with the devotees? Exchanging gifts. Charity here means not charity is just giving out. It is more of exchanging between the devotees, and then exchanging the sharing the mind is also, which means you have to share what are the difficulties, how you want to grow, what is the process of how you have done, so that it will give a lot of inspiration to others. Okay. And then about the confidential service to the Lord. So the confidential service means what is that we can do to please the Lord, how to do. So those things between the peers among the same set of devotees we can exchange and then do it. Okay. And prasadam we can all understand. And more importantly, Prabhupada is mentioning about accepting prasada and taking prasada. That is also very important because that will help somebody to grow. Okay. Gugyam means what? Gugyam means more confidentially, more from a parasparam, more from a reciprocation and a confidential. Agyati prachati. It will be okay. Divyangi Mata, somebody want to read? Divyangi Mataji, you want to read?
Hey, Krishna.
Yeah.
Even in ordinary social activities, these six types of dealings between two loving friends are absolutely necessary. For instance, when one businessman wishes to contact another businessman, he arranges a feast in a hotel and over the feast openly expresses what he wishes to do. He then inquires from his business friend how he should act, and sometimes presents are exchanged. Thus, whenever there is a dealing of priti or love in intimate dealings, these six activities are executed. In the previous verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association and keep company with the devotees. Sangha Tyagat Sato Vritte. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate these six kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. The society was started single-handedly, but because people are coming forward and dealing with give and take for policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. We are glad that people are donating very liberally to the development of the society's activities, and people are also eagerly accepting whatever humble contribution we are giving them in the shape of books and magazines, dealing strictly with the subject matter of Krishna consciousness. We sometimes hold Hare Krishna festivals and invite life members and friends to participate in the feasting by accepting prasada. Although most of our members come from the higher rungs of society, they nonetheless comes and takes whatever little prasada we are able to offer them. Sometimes the members and supporters inquire very uh, confidentially about the methods of performing devotional service, and we try to explain this. In this way, our society is successfully spreading all over the world, and the intelligence of all countries is gradually appreciating our Krishna conscious activities. The life of Krishna conscious society is nourished by these six types of loving exchange among the members. Therefore, people must be given the chance to associate with devotees of ISKCON, because simply by reciprocating in six ways mentioned above, an ordinary man can fully revive his dormant Krishna consciousness. In Bhagavad Gita 2.62, it is stated, Sanjayate Kama. One's desires and ambitions develop according to the company one keeps. It is often said that a man is known by his company, and if an ordinary man associates with devotees, he will certainly develop his dormant Krishna consciousness. The understanding of Krishna consciousness is innate in every living entity, and it's already developed to some extent when the living entity takes a human body. It is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 22.107. Nitya Siddhya Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya Sarva Sarvanandi
Ravanati.
Suddha
Hmm.
Sarvanandi Suddha Chita Kare Udaye. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source, and when the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, the living entity naturally awakens. Since Krishna consciousness is inherent in every living entity, everyone should be given a chance to hear about Krishna. Simply by hearing and chanting Sarvanam Kirtanam,
Shravanam.
Shravanam Kirtanam, sorry. One's heart is directly purified and one's original Krishna consciousness is immediately awakened. Krishna consciousness is not artificially imposed upon the heart. It is already there. When one chants the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the heart is cleansed of all mundane contamination.
Thank you, Mataji.
In,
Yeah, thank you,
uh,
Mataji. So
sorry.
Prabhupada is emphasizing, thank you. So very importantly, Prabhupada is emphasizing an important point that everybody are Krishna conscious. Even a neophyte or a person in the street public, everybody are Krishna conscious only. There is no doubt about it. Only thing is, it is dormant, it is sleeping, it is in a very passive or inactive state. All that we have to do is just to awaken them or make them active. So we have to just invoke them. So we have to take us, we have to give the association and then also ensure that whatever they wanted to get their consciousness awakened, then that will help them to grow. Okay, so very importantly, Prabhupada is making this point. The understanding of Krishna consciousness is innate in every living entity. So all that we have to do is just invoke that particular thing. So Prabhupada talking about ISKCON 50 years ago, 60 years ago, right? Right now we can see the same thing, right? We are seeing so many wonderful new devotees coming up across the world after the Corona through this Zoom, online, everything. Everywhere it is growing so nicely. All because of loving exchange between the devotees, right? The devotees show love and affection to everybody. It's not that way, okay, devotee to devotee only. No. Whenever we get an opportunity to serve them prasadam, give them books, or exchanging, going to some specific places. Let's say, for example, we do some jail seva in jail, we do some seva in hospitals, we do some seva in hospices, wherever possible, right? So we just go give them some some association by which they will be able to understand, right? So those are all the ways. So we do public book distribution, whatever possible. We are trying to do the society which is more relevant and required for the society. We are trying to do. Okay, so that is where Prabhupada is also making the point. We are holding Hare Krishna festivals. We now the nowadays this Kirtan Mela for the youth jam. So all those festivals, Poland festival, so many festivals are happening, right? All this because where we will see people get united, people have one common agenda, people will forget about all their distress, everything, and then just come to listen, come to hear, come to do kirtan, whatever be it, and take little prasadam. That is fine. Right, so that is what Prabhupada is also emphasizing. This happened, the Prabhupada writing 60 years ago is still relevant, right? Even after 100 years, when you read the same sentences, you will see how relevant it is, right? So that is why the Prabhupada's purpose are so relevant even after many years also, right? So the envisionary part, we can understand how Prabhupada has put the lead in the society. In society, in our movement, whatever activities we do are all aligned in one aspect, right? So that part we can see, and then how it is spreading across multiple locations. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Fine. Somebody wants to read this portion.
Cheto darpana marjanam bhavo Mahadavangi Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratibhadam Purnam Mrita Spadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijyate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years, extinguishes the fire of conditional life or repeated birth and death. The Sankirtana movement is a prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of benediction's moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Not only is the chanter of the Maha Mantra purified, but the heart of anyone who happens to hear the transcendental vibration of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is also cleansed. Even the souls embodied in lower animals, insects, trees, and other species of lives also become purified and prepared to become fully Krishna consciousness simply by hearing the transcendental vibration. This was explained by Thakura Haridasa when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from him how living entities lower than human beings can be delivered from material bondage. Haridasa Thakura said that the chanting of the holy name is so powerful that even if one chants in the remotest parts of the jungle, the trees and animals will advance in Krishna consciousness simply by hearing the vibration. This was actually proved by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself when he passed through the forest of Iharikanda. At that time, the tiger, snakes, deer, and all the animals dance. But by chanting the holy name of the Lord, we can actually convert many people throughout the world of Krishna consciousness. Contributing or distributing the holy name of the Lord is a sublime example of contributing or giving charity, the Dadadi principle. By the same token, one must also follow the Pratignati principle and be willing and ready to receive a transcendental gift. One should inquire about Krishna consciousness movement and open his mind in order to understand the situation of this material world. Thus, the Guyam Akhyati Prichyati principle can be served. The members of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness invite the society members and supporters to dine with them, and when they hold a love feast in their branches every Sunday. Many interested people come to honor prasada, and whenever possibly, they invite members of the society of their homes and feed them sumptuously with prasada. In this way, both the members of the society and the general public are benefited. People should give up the company of so-called yogis, jnanis, karmis, and philanthropists because their association can benefit no one. If one really wants to attain the goal of human life, he should associate with devotees of Krishna consciousness movement because it is the only movement that teaches one how to develop love for God. Relation is the special function of human society, and it constitutes the distinction between human society and animal society. Animal society has no church, mosque, or religious system. In all parts of the world, however downtrodden human society may be, there is some system of religion. Even tribal aborigines in the jungle also have a system of religion. When a religion system develops and turns into love of God, it is successful. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 126, Savai Pumsham Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adyokshaye Ahaituki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. The supreme occupation Dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to the loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. If the members of human society actually want peace of mind, tranquility, and friendly relations between men and nations, they must follow Krishna consciousness system and religion, by which they can develop their dormant love for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as people do so, their minds will immediately be filled with peace and tranquility. In this regard, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura wants...
Thank you, Mataji.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Okay.
So very important aspects, Prabhupada. After talking about association, Krishna conscious, prasadam, Prabhupada emphasizes on an important aspect of kirtana, right? So the best way to give, what is the best way to give to association, or the easiest way to give association is just through kirtan, right? Chanting. Even when you walk, or when you're able to do public chanting, public kirtan, that is the best way, where even animals, small insects, whatever possible, any other living entities also will get an opportunity to hear Krishna's names, hear Maha Mantra, and then they will be able to get transformation. Living out humans also, right? So that's what Prabhupada is also. Even the souls embodied in lower people, lower animals also will get be possible, right? So that is where very powerful is about giving the Hare Krishna mantra, right? So the easiest is also, that is the one, and best is also. Then you can give prasadam, then you can give books, then you can give association, then during Damodar month, Kartik month, you can do house programs, whatever possible, like, all those things are all part of that particular activity. And Prabhupada also brings this wonderful pastime about how Mahaprabhu, when he went to Jharkhand forest, right? On the way, he was about to go to Vrindavan, but on the way, he went through this Jharkhand forest in Orissa, right? So he saw the animals and he started chanting. Right? When he started chanting, what happens? If you see the wonderful picture where the tigers and deers will hug each other and do the Harinam Kirtan, right? So Mahaprabhu, when he was walking through the forest, he was just chanting, right? When he was chanting all the way in the forest, all animals got benefited. So Prabhupada is bringing that aspect, like, it doesn't matter where we are, even it is a jungle or whatever location, if we're able to do our chanting and then give out that Hare Krishna mantra to everybody, he is very nice. Prabhupada is making that we should follow his footsteps. We are not powerful enough to enchant, but at least we can make an attempt so that we will be able to this one. Okay, contributing or distributing of the holy name is a sublime example of contributing of Dadati. Okay, very nice aspect of it, right? And then the prasadam portion, I think this we already understand. Religion is a special function of human society. It is only with the human society that distinguishes between animal and human behavior. Okay, so the more and more we are focused towards love of Godhead, right? Towards what is more important, then it means we are on the correct path. It doesn't mean that highly sophisticated or more developed. It doesn't mean that. What even among lower people, whomsoever that we think, they might have a very specific focused attention in Krishna consciousness, in God consciousness. So they will be elevated, right? So if you read through Puri Jagannath story, the tribal people, right, who were protecting the Neela Madhav deities. If you have gone through the Jagannath pastime, they were protecting Neela Madhav so beautifully, nicely, that nobody knew. And they had their own way. Vidyapati will go and try to find out, and the King Indradumna wanted to find out, have darshan of Neela Madhav, and then this Vidyapati, this Brahmana, he will go and then he will try to get somehow association with the tribal king, and then he will try to get marry his daughter. All those things is one aspect, but the other aspect of seeing that is the tribal group in that particular region, they were focused on the love and devotion of that particular deity, and they were at a high, very high elevated level. It doesn't mean that they have to be in the cities, they have to build big temples, they have to have all kind of upacharas, all then only it will become. No, not required, right? So even if you go to any remote part in India, like any particular tribal region, they'll have their own way of worshipping the Supreme Lord, right? In South India, there is a place called Madurai where every year the Lord Vishnu comes to a particular tribal community. Okay, and they are like they are more of one particular. So he acts according to them. They will give some food there. He'll accept them. Then they will stay. So the reciprocation between that particular tribal group and the Lord is so. He's called as Kallal Aragar. Kallal Aragar means that particular group. So every year he comes to that group, that particular community is on the way. He will stay there near a particular river and then stay there for the night, and then they will offer something to the Lord Vishnu, and then he will accept, and then there will be some loving exchange. So every year they will do this act of the Lord coming from a particular region all the way towards the main city. Towards the main city, when he comes, he will stay back one night with that particular group. And today that festival is so big and so popular. But what is the important aspect is the Lord accepts everybody's bhakti, right? Dadami, when he says Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, he'll give that intelligence. And he says Ashnami Prayatatmanaha. What is that? Ashnami Prayatatmanaha means he will see only the endeavor. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhakta Prayachiti. Dadam Pradi Ashnami Prayatatmanaha. Which means what? He will see only the endeavor, that is the effort that is being put, not about how much we offer, what is that being done. Okay, so our movement's principle is very clear. It is not about the opulence part of it. It is more about the love and affection that we reciprocate with the Supreme Lord that will help us to grow in our bhakti. At the same time, love and affection to other fellow living beings that will help us to understand what is that we are supposed to do and what is that we are supposed to grow in our bhakti. Okay, so this also sloka savaya pamsam para dharmo yado bhakti adokshite ahituki apriti hata yayatma suprasiddhiti. That will satisfy. See, it doesn't matter about what is the most important thing. Our bhakti should adokshita, but bhakti should grow. Ahituki apriti hata. It should be unmotivated, uninterrupted. It should continue. And don't expect something to happen, then only you'll get motivated, right? So that is the incorrect way of doing it. That is more from a material perspective. It is parodharma. It is our dharma. It is our duty that we have to perform it. Okay. Okay. I think this is all okay. So Bhakti Siddhanta Sarji Thakur and Prabhupada also giving this analogy. If a snake is given milk to drink, its poison simply increases, right? The same way we need to be very careful of atheists. So we need to be very clear of with whom we take association. How do we educate people in God consciousness? So for example, Vaisheshika Prabhu will always say, when you go and distribute a book to an atheist, he says, don't try to keep arguing with people. That is not our way, and that is not our way. If you feel like they are not, then just say Hare Krishna and then just keep moving out, right? Because for when you start interacting with the atheist, the atheistic mentality will start pouring onto our thoughts and process also, because they are in the Muda state. Krishna says also is in the Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti Ma Muda. So Manusham, so they will not understand who is Krishna. They will not understand, accept the Supreme Lord. So just leave it out and then try it for somebody else. Okay. Prabhupada is mentioning about. Okay. This is also very importantly. Vishayara Anna Kaile Dushta Hanama Hayamana. Dushta means what? The people who are very wicked. So eating prasadam about. Did I tell you about the story of the sannyasi story? Right? Same way, right? So you should be very careful about taking prasadam also, because our mind will become polluted just by eating food from somebody else. Okay, I think according to that, this is fine. This example should be followed by all devotees. Whatever one's income, 50% should be. This we have already seen in Nectar of Devotion also. How Rupa Goswami divided is 50, 25, 25. Right? So that it becomes easy. According to Dadadi principle, 50% and then another 25%, another 25%. Rupa Goswami set an example. When he decided to retire, he distributed 50% to Krishna's seva, 25% to his relatives and friends and whomsoever, and 25% he kept for his personal emergencies. Okay, this is what is Dadadi principle from Rupa Goswami. Okay, let's go to next sloka. Any doubts in this sloka? Dadadi pratigrighnati gugyam agyadi prichari bhukte bhojai chaiva sadvidim priti lakshanam. Okay, priti means with love and affection. Okay. Yeah, please. This, say, from 5th to 6th, 7th, 8th, it is all about one series, and 9, 10, 11 is all about pure devotion series. Okay. We will try to complete today one or two more slokas, and tomorrow 3 more slokas, and then we should be able to complete by next week. Yeah, please read the translation.
Mhm. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation diksha and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that guru devotee who is advanced and in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of propensity to criticize others. In order to intelligently apply the sixfold loving reciprocations mentioned in the previous verse, one must select proper persons with careful discrimination. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore advises that we should meet with the Vaishnavas in an appropriate way according to their particular status. In this verse, he tells us how to deal with the 3 types of devotees, the Anishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari is a neophyte who has received the Harinama initiation from the spiritual master and is trying to chant the holy name of Krishna. One should respect such a person with his mind as a Kanishta Vaishnava. A Madhyama Adhikari has received spiritual initiation from the spiritual master and has been fully engaged by him in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Madhyama Adhikari should be considered to be situated midway in the devotional service. The Uttama Adhikari, or highest devotee, is one who is very advanced in devotional service. An Uttama Adhikari is not interested in blaspheming others. His heart is completely clean, and he has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. According to Srila Rupa Goswami, the association and service of such a Mahabhagavata or perfect Vaishnava are most desirable.
Thank you, Mataji. So very important, where this is continuing from the 3rd, 4th, and 5th sloka. 4th sloka is about association and then confidentially doing. How to do it within the devotees. This now it is like condensing now, right? First it starts. First sloka is about my mind, my intelligence. How do I ensure that is controlling? Then what and all I should leave out. Then what and all I should have, and within what and all I have to do ensure that is I'm protecting it. I'm doing a reciprocation. Now within that 5th sloka onwards, then again condensing. Within that, it is only among devotees. Now among devotees, what I have to be very careful in what I should do. And then within among devotees, the next steps will keep progressing. Right? So this is about the 3 types of devotees. Prabhupada also gives a very detailed understanding about Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama, right? So all initiated devotees are Kanishta devotees. We might assume, oh, neophytes means this Kanishta means all the other set of, no, Prabhupada is making it very clear. All initiated devotees is also in the Kanishta stage only. Okay. So for the Kanishta stage devotees, we have to give them respect in the mind, so that we need to give them whatever be it whomsoever. That is why we call them as Prabhuji and Mataji, irrespective of their age, irrespective of whatever background we come, whatever be it, we have to give them that respect, right? So that is very important. Then respect through the mind, and then for the Madhyama, respect parasparam, like we do Alingana. Alingana means more of embracing together and then giving that love and affection. At the Uttama people, we have to do Dandavat Pranam, so we have to Ashtanga Pranam, whatever Panchang Pranam, whatever possible, and then we have to give the proper respect to a senior Uttama devotee. Whatever be the situation, wherever it is, we need to give them that association. Okay. But this is very important. So one should not remain Kanishta. Yeah, please read. Anybody else? Mataji, anybody? Aishwarya Mataji, go ahead. Yeah. Vishali Mataji.
One should.
One should not remain Kanishta Adhikari, one who is situated on the lowest platform of devotional service and is interested only in worshipping the deity in the temple. Such a devotee is described in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.47. Acharyam eva haye pujam yashadha shadhaye hate natat teshu janyeshu savakta prakrita smita. A person who is very faithfully engaged in the worship of the deity in the temple, but who does not know how to behave towards devotees or people in general is called Prakrita Bhakta or Kanishta Adhikari. One therefore has to raise himself from the position of Kanishta Adhikari to the platform of Madhyama Adhikari. The Madhyama Adhikari is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.46 in this way. Ishvare tat adhineshu varisheshu vishtashu cha prema maitri tripopeksha yakaroti madhyama. The Madhyama Adhikari is a devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the highest object of love, makes friends with the Lord's devotees, is merciful to the ignorant, and avoids those who are envious by him. This is the way to cultivate devotional service properly. Therefore, in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has advised us to know how to treat various devotees. We can see from practical experience that there are different types of Vaishnavas. The Prakrita Sahajiyas generally chant Krishna Mahamantra, yet they are attached to women, money, and intoxication. Although such persons may chant the holy name of the Lord, they are not yet properly purified. Such persons should be respected within one's mind, but their association should be avoided. Those who are innocent but simply carried away by bad association should be shown favor if they are eager to receive proper instructions from the pure devotees. But those neophyte devotees who are actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and are seriously engaged in carrying out the orders of the spiritual master should be offered respectful obeisance.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, we'll take a. So Prabhupada is talking about people should grow from their Kanishta level to the. So Kanishta level, we have to give them respect, and but Kanishta level, they will have the love and devotion and respect only at the more from a temple perspective. They will see that the Lord is present in the deity form in the temple, and then accordingly he will try to do some deity worship specifically there. Okay, so we can understand Acharyam eva haraye pujyam shraddhayayate. Okay, tad bhakteshu chanyeshu sabhaktam prakrita smritaha, right? Prakrita means at that particular level only, that understanding and consciousness is more from that particular temple level only, right? But Madhyama level can go little more higher level. So they at the Madhyama level, Ishware tat adineshu. So they will be able to see the Supreme Lord as his personal goal wherever he is, whatever be the situation, he will be able to Prema Maitri Kripopeksha. Okay, so he will grow that, and then Yakaroti Samadhyamaha. So he will try to show mercy to all the people. Okay, so Madhyama will be able to differentiate between who wants Krishna consciousness, who are already in Krishna consciousness, everything. But at Uttama level, they will be always at the same stage. Okay, so that is why Madhyama level is for the preaching purposes. They have to be understood. Okay, that is where we need to see. Okay, and Prabhupada is mentioning about Prakritasya. This is very important aspect where if you go to Vrindavan or some locations even in Mayapur and other places, all these people they will just try to understand in their own way, which means I think you might have studied this in Nectar of Devotion also, right? They will Siddha Pranali. Siddha Pranali is what? They will create their own concatenated way. Oh, Krishna came yesterday night in my dream and told me to do this. This is how that has to be done. This is not should be. So they will create their own way of rules and regulations, and then they will try to, which will lead to a lot of more of confusion and calamity. So that is why we need to be very, very careful in association with the this Prakrita Sahajiyas. Okay, the Prabhupada also mentioned about even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentions about Sahaja mentality. Okay, Sahaja means little more diluted. Everything okay, this is how it is. So Radharani did this. So they will have their own way of creating. Oh, I am also a gopi. You are also a manjari. Like that, so much of things will start coming. Okay, which is all nothing but more from a Sahaja mentality. Right, so we have to be very careful in associating with them. We might think, oh, this is the correct way. Oh, they are all very advanced devotees, but actually speaking, they will have their own way of sense gratification only. Okay? We need to be very careful. Okay, Prabhupada is talking about everybody in Krishna consciousness is a chance is given to everyone without caste and discrimination. Everybody gets joined, allowed to join, sit among. Let's take Prasadam and hear about Krishna. This is very important, right? He should be accepted immediately. So whomsoever trying to get an understanding from a Krishna conscious way, and then that particular person should be taken up very seriously, and then try to give them the respect and love and affection. Okay, this is about Uttama Adhikari level. Okay, Diksha Kale Bhakte Kare Atma Samarpana, Sei Kale Krishna Tare Kare Atma Samam. At the time of initiation, when a devotee is fully surrendered to the service of the Lord, Krishna accepts him to be as good as himself. Okay. Now, Neha Mataji is going to get initiation, right? Tomorrow, Mataji?
No, next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay, okay,
Mm.
next Saturday.
Krishna.
So we will chant 3 times for Mataji, okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
So very important. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives this wonderful
Thank you.
wonderful affirmation. What is it affirmation? Lord Krishna accepts him to be as good as himself. Okay, very nice. Divyang Yanam Yado Dadyat Kuryat Papasya Sankshayam. Tasmat Diksheti Saprokta Desikais Tattva Kovidaihi. Very nice. By Diksha, one gradually becomes disinterested in material enjoyment and gradually becomes interested in spiritual life. So Diksha gives an opportunity to move away from a material way of thinking, material way of working towards a spiritual way of enlightenment. Okay, so this is very important. So Prabhupada emphasized this importance of understanding and taking up spiritual life. At least Harinam, the basic Harinam will help you to surrender towards the Supreme Lord to a identified bona fide spiritual master. So in the Sampradaya Acharyas, you take shelter under them and then they will guide us through how to achieve that love and affection of Krishna Prema. Okay. This is one should not accept a spiritual master without following his instruction. This is all this Ekalavya principle. Like they will create their own way of doing it and then getting into non-accepted way of doing it. So the Prabhupada warns gives that warning also. One must be jignashu. Jignashu means what? Very inquisitive to learn and know about specific points. Okay, that point is also Prabhupada is mentioning. When one is actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and when he seriously engages in the service of the Lord, he should be accepted as Madhyama Adhikari. So, in the first paragraph, he was mentioning everybody initiated are Kanishta Adhikari, but when he seriously engages in the service of the Lord, then he slowly becomes Madhyama Adhikari. Okay, this one we can understand. This Koma Shraddha Kanishta Jnana Krame Krame Teno. This particular portion, I think most of you would have done in Bhakti, the Nectar of Devotion, right? How the Bhakti Lata Bijam grows from Kutam to Bijam, all those things, and then slowly when it grows, all the Papam, all the other inauspicious things will automatically get moved away, right? That portion also we can understand. Okay, I think this is very nice. When Satyaraj Khan asked Shri Mahaprabhu, how do I identify a particular devotee, a particular person as devotee? Prabhupada also mentions this. Everybody are Christians. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentions even a person one time he says Krishna Nama say Puja Shrestha Sabakara. So who's a Vaishnava? Everybody except you are a Vaishnava. That is what Prabhupada will say. That is what I was. Whomsoever chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna's name is a Vaishnava. If one hears a person says even once the word Krishna, that person should be acted as the best man among the group. Okay. Atayeva yandra mukhe ye Krishna nama sei te Vaishnava kahira tanhara sammana. So one who is interested in chanting the holy name of the Lord or by practices likes to chant Krishna name should be accepted as a Vaishnava. At least one's mind. Okay. Very important. So we should be very clear in accepting who is a Krishna conscious person. So Prabhupada, so they are so benevolent. So Mahaprabhu and others are so nice. Like, no, oh, you just say Krishna, Hare Krishna, that is enough. That's all. You are a Vaishnava, right? Because we will only have the lot of discrimination. But for at a higher level, everybody are Krishna conscious. Okay, so we need to understand how they are able to bring this particular concept to the lowest level also. So this is about the Beatles, right? Remember about the story, if you have read through Leelamrita, Prabhupada Leelamrita, when he started taking Krishna consciously seriously, the famous musician, like, the Beatles group, right? So he just did the recordings of Hare Krishna, and they started the records started selling like anything, right? So and then he also donated very generously for the Krishna book, the first printing of the Krishna book, right? So that is also we have to understand. Prabhupada also makes it very clearly. And when Gurudas and Shyam Sundar Prabhu and all went and tell him, like, he's like that, and then he want to continue. The Prabhupada tell, let him do whatever as it is. It's not that he has to take up initiation and shave his head, put dhoti kurta. That is one aspect of it. But the other aspect of it, if he's a very serious Krishna conscious devotee and then trying to do whatever his way of doing Krishna consciousness, it is absolutely fine. That is what he was mentioning. Okay. So this sloka is very nice sloka where it talks about the Shraddha portion of the devotees, then the devotional service of the devotees, then the preaching part of the devotees, and then also the knowledge aspect of the three devotees. If you put it in a matrix in a table way, for these four principles you will easily get. Okay. What is about a person with Shastra Yukti Nahi Jnane Dhrita Shraddhavan Madhyamadhikari Sahi Mahabhagyavan. A person whose conclusive knowledge is not very strong but was developed firm faith in chanting should be at the Madhyama level. Okay. So not very strong but he's got very good. But slowly he is able to get, right? A Madhyadhikari is a Shraddhavan, staunchly faithful, is actually a candidate for further development. Okay. Slowly when he becomes more and more knowledgeable person, then he will become a so Shraddha, knowledge, and the devotional aspect. All four aspects we need to see how it grows from one particular stage to another stage. Okay. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Suhurta Nischaya. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Sarva Krita Haya. So this faith means strong faith for a Madhyamadhikari. Kanishta Gati faith will be little okay, it is in a fragile stage. And knowledge also very less knowledge. Madhyama knowledge keeps growing. Uttama knowledge is at the highest level. Faith is also at the topmost level, and the devotion service also will be at the topmost level. Faith and knowledge and devotion service and association will be at a lower level. Slowly growing it will be at the Madhyama level, and then highest will be at the so faith, knowledge, devotion service, association, these are all the some of the parameters that we can define between a Kanishta and giving respect also, right? How do we give respect to a Kanishta? Through the mind. How do we give a respect to a Madhyamadhikari? Parasparam, equal respect, reciprocation. At a Uttama level, we have to give more respect from our heart, mind, and body also, right? So we have to pay respects, we have to pay obeisance at whatever be the situation at the Uttama level. Okay. So Prabhupada is talking about the Shraddha portion more detail in terms of this understand. Okay, we can read through this little later also, but that is okay. So from a preaching perspective also, from a preaching perspective, what does Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning about Madhyama, Uttama and Kanishta. Okay, maybe we can do this a small exercise also, so that will be helpful for you. Okay, you're able to see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So faith, for example, faith for a Kanishta will be low and growing, right? Is growing steadily, strong, okay, and undeviated. Devotion means devotion service. Okay, devotion service is only at
In the
certain
temple.
certain locations, temple. Okay, anywhere can see the Lord and show love and affection. And for Uttama, high and can see everybody equally. Preaching less or no. Good. Okay. Can do more preaching. Can take up disciples. Do initiation. Deity worship only in temples. At home and specified location. Everywhere. Less. This is not no, actually less only. Growing along with faith. Strong and fully mature. Okay. You can say maturity also, low maturity, high, medium maturity, and high maturity. Okay. That's fine. So this is the way we can understand how Rupa Goswami wants us to put this understanding across all these aspects: faith, devotion, preaching, deity worship, knowledge. So you can keep adding the parameters here, characteristics or parameters. You can say whatever be it, devotional parameters by which we are able to differentiate. And then respect. Okay, how do we give respect? Through mind, through reciprocation. Affection, equal respect, full Dandavat respect. Association, give association and be helpful, not to take up more. Equal, confidential, and share. Take association, give respect, and seek mercy. Okay, association and the respect. We can say association and this one also is very important. So like this, if you go through all these points, then it'll help you to understand more clearly about how Rupa Goswami and Prabhupada wants to differentiate between. Sanat, Siddha Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur also brings about very clear understanding about this. Okay, at least 5, 7, 8 points we can understand. Clear? You're able to understand?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I was just wondering if you can explain when you last association, give association versus take association, the difference.
Yeah, so give association means here from a preaching perspective, uh, more importantly, when you have some faith, some knowledge about Krishna, and then you see the other person who's growing, who's still not able to understand, who wants to grow but is very eager, sincere, and then like that, then you just give association. It means give Prabhupada's mercy, give Krishna's mercy, give Guru's mercy through books, through chanting, through prasadam, something like that, so that they will slowly grow. And knowledge also, whatever we know, we just share. And for the
Right.
lower level, so that they'll grow. And Madhyama is parasparam, among equally we can show. And but the Uttama level, there is nothing for us to give. Here it means we have to serve them so that we get their association, their knowledge, their mercy, and whatever blessings they want to give, they will take. So that is where at the so it is like how do you evaluate yourself? If you feel like a greater person that is coming, then you take association. But if you feel like you're
Right.
going to get, then you do it. That's it.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, thank you.
See, all these parameters you have to see from which. See, you might be an Uttama. Okay. Then accordingly you can decide. If you are a Madhyama, accordingly you decide. Madhyama, at a Kanishta, if you feel like you are a Kanishta, then accordingly you need to take. Okay. So, for example, if you feel you are less in knowledge, what you are supposed to do, Prabhupada is mentioning, you have to grow from a Kanishta to Madhyama, which means you have to increase your knowledge, you have to increase your preaching activities, you have to increase your devotion service, you have to grow your faith. Slowly, then you will move from Kanishta to Madhyama. And in Madhyama, you will see both the sides and how do you also grow from a Madhyama to a Uttama stage. Whatever be it, we need to see how the growth is there. Okay. So like this, if you get more points also, you just please add in. Okay. Then this sloka will give a very clear understanding about how so detailed Prabhupada is also bringing about the three types of positions. A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept it is, but such disciples must be on the same platform and it should be understood that they cannot advance well enough through the ultimate goal. So therefore, we should be very clear in accepting Diksha from a particular specific Acharya. Okay, this is also specifically mentioned. The devotee should be intelligent enough to distinguish between the Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. And they should not try to imitate. Okay, very important. Right? That is also, once we know that this is done, then we'll try to imitate. That is also incorrect. Okay. Let's quickly finish this sixth sloka, the understanding of this sixth sloka alone. Then tomorrow we'll try to finish 7, 8, 9. And then by Sunday, we should be able to finish. Saturday is a little bit this one, but Sunday we'll try to finish it. Okay. Yeah, please read this sloka.
After being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee having a body, born in a low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body. According to ordinary vision, such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee, but despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the water of the Ganges, which sometimes during the rainy season are full of bubbles, foam, and mud. The Ganges water do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Very important sloka. So, taking association is what we saw in the previous sloka, and then identifying the devotees. And so when you identify the devotees among Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama, automatically what will happen is, if you see from the world level of understanding, they will see whether this particular person is of a low economic background, high economic background. He is looking this color, he is looking that color, he is very poor. All kind of materialistic eyes will come first. Okay, more from a bodily perspective. This is this body, that body. So Prabhupada made this association, this Krishna consciousness movement for universal. It is for everybody, right? So I had, I mean, through Prabhupada's mercy, I have traveled across multiple places. I've seen so much of wonderful devotees in different bodies, and it is unimaginable to see how they are able to do Krishna consciousness and doing chanting also, right? So which means this is a fact that it can be taken up by anybody and everybody. And whomsoever is able to understand that is very important. So a devotee does not. So as a devotee, we should never discriminate on the bodily platform. Okay. So that is why this loka, even this was written what, some 500 years or 600 years ago, right? By Rupa Goswami, when he was trying to bring, which means even during that time, even Mahaprabhu's time, we need to be very clear that everybody were accepted from a Krishna conscious movement perspective. Nobody was discriminated. Nobody was discriminated based on their body, whatever be their situation, right? So it may be outwardly it might be imperfect, outwardly it might be a defect, but they are Prabhupada. I mean, Rupa Goswami was giving this wonderful example of Ganga water, right? Ganga is always pure, irrespective of wherever, however it flows through. Sometimes during the summertime, you will see a lot of pollution getting through all these factories, all bad water, all chemicals going in. So many things will go, but still Ganga and Yamuna is as pure as Krishna himself, right? So that is what we can see from the Shastra Pramanam perspective. Right? So that is what is those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. Yeah. Please read the first few sections, then we can stop. Yeah. Who wants to read?
Purport. Suddha Bhakti, the activity of the soul proper, in other words, engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, is performed in a liberated condition. In Bhagavad Gita 14.26, it is stated, Mamcha yo abhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitayaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance at once, transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Avyabhicharini bhakti means unalloyed devotion. A person engaged in devotional service must be free from material motives. In this Krishna consciousness movement, one's consciousness must be changed. If consciousness is aimed toward material enjoyment, it is material consciousness. consciousness. And if it is aimed towards serving Krishna, it is Krishna consciousness. A surrendered soul serves Krishna without material consideration. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anarvritam. Unalloyed devotional service, which is transcendental to the activities of body and mind, such as Prabhuji, this is Jnana or Jana?
No, Jnana only. So that is what I told you.
Jnana.
Wherever J and N comes together, you put it as
Okay.
Jnana. Okay, when it is J alone and there is no N next to it, it is Ja. Otherwise, it's
Okay,
Jna.
Prabhuji, thank you. Jnana, mental speculation, and karma, fruitive work, is called pure bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is the proper activity of the soul, and when one actually engages in unalloyed, uncontaminated devotional service, he is already liberated. Sa gunan samatitayatan. Krishna's devotee is not subjected to material conditions, even though his bodily features may appear materially conditioned. One should therefore not see a pure devotee from a materialistic point of view. Unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly. As explained in the previous verse, there are three types of devotees: Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari cannot distinguish between a devotee and a non devotee. He is simply concerned with worshipping the deity in the temple. A Madhyam Adhikari, however, can distinguish between the devotee and the non-devotee, as well as between the devotee and the Lord. Thus, he treats the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee, and the non-devotee in different ways.
Okay. So we
No
can,
one.
yeah, one second, Mata, we can add distinguishing, okay? This also we can add, right? Sorry. Which means they cannot distinguish. They can between devotees, non-devotees, and Lord. They also cannot distinguish, but they are at higher platform. Which means what? They for them it is all everybody same. This is more with ignorance. This is more with full complete knowledge. This is more from a person who wants to understand and try to make somebody at a low level to grow and then also worship the Supreme Lord in this way. Okay. Yeah. So no
No
one.
one should.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go
No
ahead.
one should criticize the bodily defects of a pure devotee. If there are any such defects, they should be overlooked. What should be taken into account is the spiritual master's main business, which is devotional service, pure service to the Supreme Lord, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, verse number 9.30. अपि चेत् सुदूर सुदूराचारो भजते माम अन्य अनन् अनन्यभाक् साधुरेव स मन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः.
Yes.
Even if a devotee sometimes seems to engage in abnormal activities, he should be considered a sadhu, a saintly person, because his actual identity is that of one engaged in the loving service of the Lord. In other words, he is not to be considered an ordinary human being.
Thank you, Mataji. So even in Abhisidodhacharo Bhajate Mamananyabha, Sadhu Reva Samantavya Samyak Vyavasito Isaha. Even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is one pastime where one time when Rupa Goswami, I remember, he was mentally in a platform of thinking about Radha Krishna Seva, and then there will be one devotee in Vaishnava who will be like kind of crippled, like he will have like Ashtavakra Muni. Okay, in the previous scriptures we have seen there is a Muni called as Ashtavakra. Vakra means different twists and turns, and his body is eight folded bend. Okay, so he cannot walk. But Ashtavakra Muni gave a wonderful similar to Bhagavad Gita. He has given one Gita, like same. He had one conversation and he got the so that the Ashtavakra Muni's Gita is also very famous. So the Bhashyam that I was trying to tell is so that one Vaishnava when he was just crossing his I think Sanatana Goswami. I remember either Sanatana Goswami or Rupa Goswami. I think Rupa Goswami. His mind was in totally absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and he was doing some seva in there, and then he forgot or he didn't realize that this Vaishnava passed. So that moment, right now, immediately he was thinking about some seva there, and the Vaishnava who went through this particular path, he was thinking this particular Goswami, he's thinking he's a big Goswami, he's not giving respect. So he had little bit of that particular thought in his mind. Because of that thought, whatever wonderful seva or scene that he was thinking in his mind, like he was so absorbed. Rupa Goswami was so much absorbed that he was completely in the Krishna Loka in that particular bhav, and then he was having suddenly that disappeared. Suddenly that whatever pastime he was seeing, that enlightenment, he was able to when he opened his eyes and he was able to find out what happened, that this Vaishnava also disappeared. And he was completely perplexed. I don't know what happened, who came, suddenly what happened, this. And then he was completely confused and distraught. He went to Sanatana Goswami, his elder brother, and then he was asking what just happened. Then Sanatana Goswami said, you might have done Vaishnava Aparadha. Then he said, I didn't do any Vaishnava Aparadha. No, mentally also sometimes certain things will happen and you might have done. So then he was completely shocked. I don't know what to do. Then he calls, there's only one thing, you don't know with whom you did. Then you call all the Vaishnavas in the Vrajabhumi and then give them wonderful love feast. You give them wonderful prasadam, you serve them nicely. Then immediately Rupa Goswami arranges with few of the other devotees, and only he calls for all the devotees to come and honor Prasadam. He serves them very nicely, and this Vaishnava also comes. And then he also comes, and then he also realizes that he also did a mistake, that just because he was in the completely in a different absorbed, Rupa Goswami was in a completely absorbed state, and it is my mistake to offend this Vaishnava. So he will fall at his feet, and then Rupa Goswami will fall at his feet, and then they will realize and they will seek forgiveness among each other, and then it will all get solved. So most importantly, why this pastime is getting brought is, so we should never even think about something even in the mind also, and then or forget about certain aspects of it, right? So we have to be very, very careful in our own practice and sadhana. So that is where we have to be. Vaishnava Aparadha is what? Kunjara Saucham. Kunjara Saucham means what? The elephant bathing. You would have seen in the other slokas also. Like, elephant bathing Vaishnava Aparadha is most dangerous, and or an elephant getting into a garden. Right? That is what an analogy already given, right? So we need to be very careful in our understanding of taking and giving proper respect. Okay. Yeah, Prabhupada is talking about this wonderful, the Goswami title given to Sakara Malik and Kabir Das, about Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami part. Okay. Yeah, this is also a nice part. We can stop it. Nityananda Vamsa Goswami. Okay. So what happens after Mahaprabhu pastime, after Nityananda Prabhu's pastime and all, there were many of them started taking their own way of saying, oh, we are all followers of Nityananda Prabhu, we are all followers, which means they went into some kind of their own way of concocted way of performing or taking up certain religious way of working. Okay, certain principles, certain procedures, which was not fully prescribed in the Shastras. Okay, so we have to be very clear that so many of them say, I am from the Nityananda Vamsa. I'm inheriting Nityananda Prabhu. So no, that is all incorrect. All that we are following is following the footsteps of our acharyas. Okay. This Goswami title also, right? Because if you go to Vrindavan, many of them will say, I'm Goswami, I'm Goswami. And so all these Goswamis also kind of become a family lineage. Somebody started having a title as Goswami. Like, how do they have the family title like Sharma, like that, right? Like Patnaik, like that. There are different levels of their names also, right? So that is also very important to understand. Okay. Yeah, I think we can stop here. Then tomorrow we'll continue with the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th slokas. So in this way, one can avoid seeing the pure devotee from a materialistic point of view, and thus one can gradually become a pure. So very important at a Kanishta level, at a neophyte level, we should never be judgmental. We should never judge anybody actually. Then otherwise it will become very dangerous for the devotional service. That time Prabhupada mentioned, unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophyte godbrothers who do not appreciate that. So Prabhupada always mentioned, I brought all the white elephants, right? You know the pastimes where when Prabhupada brought all the wonderful devotees who dedicated their lives for Krishna consciousness along with Prabhupada, and then everybody was shocked. First time when we had the big Pandal program in Delhi and another Pandal program in Bombay, so much of crowd. And then when Prabhupada brought all these wonderful devotees, white body devotees to do the kirtan and then do pravachan, everybody were shocked. And then there is one, we can stop with that story. Remember that story where one of our Prabhupada's disciples he is a white bodied Prabhupada, and then when he was staying along with Prabhupada in Vrindavan, all the Prabhupada told them, you go around all the 6 Goswami temples, you take association, you understand how the Goswamis work, and then especially Radha Raman temple, Radha Damodar temple, all those temples, you see how they did deity worship. So during summertime, he gave a free hand to all his disciples who especially came from the west to go around Vrindavan. So all of them went around here and there, and then one day one devotee came, one Prabhupada disciple, he came and told Prabhupada, I met one pujari, and then he gave me his blessings. And what blessings he gave? He told, oh, you are all wonderful Krishna Bhaktas, all okay, but still you are not a Brahmana. I give you blessings that you become a Brahmana next year. Sorry, next birth. And Prabhupada laughed like anything. Okay. And then he told a story. Does anybody know that story? No?
No, bro.
Okay. So
No, Prabhu.
Prabhupada told one story. There was one village in a very remote part of India. And then in that remote part of village, it's a very typical village, a kind of remotely located village. And one day there was a big government festival, and that entire district secretary or district collector, who can say, okay, the district collector came for inauguration of a small school or something like that, some government building. So he came, he cut the ribbon, then everybody spoke, and then he gave sweets to everybody. And then he was distributing sweets to all the villages. And while distributing, one very old lady came. And then he's a district collector, which means he's the head of that particular entire district, right? So he seeked blessings to at the lotus feet of whatever, I'm just joking, at the lotus feet of that particular lady. And then immediately she blessed, hey, you will become a head constable. Okay. Like that she blessed and Prabhupada told this joke, and then she started laughing. Which means what? How many of you understood the story?
Prabhuji,
No.
could you please repeat?
Sorry, Mataji.
Could you please repeat the story?
Okay. So there was one old lady. There was one town or a village in which there was a government function that was supposed to have. This was told by Prabhupada in this one. Okay. Prabhupada, or I think Prabhupada or Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I think maybe Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. There is a small set of stories told by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Or I think Prabhupada only. Prabhupada only. I remember Prabhupada only. So there was a government function, and then after the government function, the district collector came, or the head of that particular entire state, you can say, chief minister, okay, whatever be it. So he came, he distributed everything. He distributed prasadam or sweets or whatever. And then when there was an old lady sitting there. So he went and, as just for a mark of respect, he paid his obeisances to her. And then immediately she gave her blessings, and she told, wow, you are a very wonderful person. You become a head constable. Like that, she gave the blessings. And Prabhupada telling this, and then he laughed. Okay.
Yeah. So he is already on a highest position, and she blessed by her ignorance or whatever the mood she was in. So Prabhupada laughed because she's already in high position and she's blessing to be a constable.
It became a head constable.
But
So,
head constable.
correct. So to her knowledge, who's the highest government person she knows is only a local constable.
Yeah.
Okay. So for her, the local police pala is the highest government person or the highest authority she knows, and she is giving a blessing. Oh, you become a head constable. Okay. Which means what? She doesn't know that he is far more advanced and highest authority. Same way, the local Goswamis, no, in Vrindavan, when they were trying to bless our Vaishnava devotees, no, the white body devotees who dedicated their complete life for Prabhupada and for the mission. So those Goswamis told, next, don't worry, you're all wonderfully serving Krishna. Next birth, you will become Brahmanas. Okay. Which means Prabhupada told, you're all already serving Krishna directly as a Vaishnava more than a
Brahmana.
more than a Brahmana. More than a Brahmana. So don't, and that fellow, that whomsoever was giving reasoning, you are not born here. So that is why. So he was trying to give as though, like from his position or from his knowledge or from his way of understanding or ignorant state, he was just giving. So this story is already in a way where we can directly understand from this sloka also, where based on our knowledge and understanding, we should never go and tell about others. Oh, you will become this, you will become. We should know what is our position, and then we should be able to take blessings and understanding. Okay. Understood the story?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it is there in Chaitanya Chat. I mean, Prabhupada Leelamrita also, and other books also. Okay. So we should never go by the bodily perspective and then understand about it. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was the first person in the moment to give Brahmin Diksha, Brahmin initiation to other, the so-called devotees who are born not Brahmin in the Brahminical family also. because he wanted to break that particular thing is that Janmaka, whatever, whatever that, what is it, Chatur Varnamaya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasa, no? So it is not about based on the Chatur Varnam, it is based on the Guna and Karma, based on the actions and based on the quality of the person is to be identified, not based on the birth of that particular. Birth means inclusive of the place, position, race, whatever be that. Yeah, this is about, I was telling about Vaishnava Aparadha, right? Very important. We should be very clear. One can distinguish between a neophyte and advanced by their activities. Okay, this is also very important. What kind of activities is also important. You can distinguish between based on their activities also you can identify how and what they do. Their seva. Okay. The this is the last line, very important. The spiritual master must not be subject to the advice of the disciple, nor should the spiritual master be obliged to take instruction. So very importantly, we are not supposed to go and give instruction to our spiritual master. Maharaj, I think you should do this. Maharaj, you should do this. Never ever do that. That's a bigger this thing. You can only seek advice. You can give them some suggestions. Say, Maharaj, this is my opinion. This is how it is. Look, and then let them decide. Right. So otherwise, it will become a big aparadha also. Nor should a disciple, nor is obliged to take initiative is also very important. Okay. Fine. Let's stop here. Tomorrow we'll finish 7, 8, 9 slokas. And then next Sunday we should be able to complete the entire sections. By what date? Yeah, by 16, 17 we should be able to finish. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava.
Jai. Jai.
Swami ko Jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bheva. Vaishnava.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.